If you look at the biggest brands in the world right now, the ones that are actually growing, not just maintaining, you will notice something weird. They are getting less professional. They are getting messier, they are getting louder, and they are getting significantly more personal. Meanwhile, most businesses are doing the exact opposite. They are spending thousands of dollars trying to look perfect. They are polishing their logos, they are scripting their captions, and they are hiding behind a corporate veneer that they think makes them look trustworthy. But here is the reality. That version of professionalism is dead. In fact, in the current media landscape, looking too professional is actually a liability. It triggers a defense mechanism in your customer's brain that says, this is an ad, ignore it. So today we're going to talk about the antidote. We're going to talk about the single most powerful psychological lever in modern marketing. It is a concept called the parasocial relationship. I'm going to show you the science of why this works, why your obsession with being polished is costing you money, and how to engineer a brand that people don't just buy from, but they actually bond with. Let's start with the definition. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided psychological bond that a viewer forms with a media figure. You know the person on the screen, you know their coffee order, you know their dog's name, and you feel like you're friends with them, even though they have no idea who you are. For decades, this was reserved for celebrities and news anchors. Now you, as a business owner, have the ability to form these bonds with thousands of people simultaneously. And this matters because of a shift in how humans buy things. 20 years ago, we bought based on institutional trust. We trusted the bank because it had a big marble lobby. We trusted the brand because it had a shiny TV commercial. We trusted the suit. Today, institutional trust is at an all-time low. We don't trust the marble lobby anymore. We think they are hiding fees. We don't trust the shiny commercial. We know it's manipulated. We have moved to relational trust. We buy from people we feel like we know. This is why you can have a business with a perfect product and a beautiful website that fails completely, while your competitor, who is filming videos on an iPhone in their messy car, is crushing you. The competitor has relational trust. You just have a logo. So how do we build this? How do we stop being a faceless entity and start building a parasocial brand? It comes down to 3 specific psychological triggers. Trigger number 1 is what psychologists call the mere exposure effect. This is a cognitive bias where people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. The more often I see your face, the more I trust you. This is biologically hardwired. In the wild, if I see something every day and it hasn't eaten me yet, it is probably safe. This is why volume matters. I have talked about making more content before, but this is the scientific reason why. It is not just about beating the algorithm, it is about hacking the human brain. If you post once a week, you are a stranger. If you post every day, you are a habit. You become part of their daily ritual, like their morning coffee. You cannot build a relationship with someone you only see once a month. Trigger number 2 is the Pratfall Effect. This is a psychological phenomenon where competent people become more likable when they make a mistake or show a flaw. Think about that. Professionalism tells you to hide your flaws. It tells you to edit out the stutter, to only show the wins, to make sure the lighting is perfect. But perfection creates distance. Perfection is intimidating. Nobody relates to perfect because nobody is perfect. When you show the behind the scenes of your business, when you talk about a launch that failed, or when you show up on camera without fully glam, you aren't hurting your brand. You are humanizing it. You are giving the audience a hook to latch onto. You are saying, I am like you. This is partially why I film my videos like this. I make a script, I read off of it, I make sure not to memorize it. Sometimes I stutter, sometimes I mess up. The clothes I wear, I'm not in like my business casual outfit. I don't have my hair combed. But this is the reason why I film my videos like this, because I just want it to be personal. This doesn't mean you need to be incompetent. You still need to be an expert, but you need to be an accessible expert. You want to be the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. Trigger number 3 is shared identity. A parasocial relationship isn't just about liking the person. It's about seeing yourself in them. Most businesses market their features. We sell a camera with 4K resolution. That is a feature. A parasocial brand markets its identity. We are the creators who are tired of gatekeepers. When you stop selling and start storytelling, you are essentially broadcasting a signal. You are saying, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I stand against. The people who resonate with that signal will bond with you instantly. They aren't just buying a camera, they are buying a membership to your tribe. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't want to be an influence. I don't want to share my private life. This is the biggest misconception about this strategy. There is a massive difference between being personal and being private. Being private is about your safety and your secrets. You keep that to yourself. Being personal is about your perspective and your personality. You share that with everyone. You don't have to show your kids or your house to build a parasocial brand. But you do have to show your opinions. You do have to show your face. You do have to show your process. So how do you execute this? First, kill the corporate voice. Stop writing captions that sound like a press release. Write like you speak. If you wouldn't say synergy or innovative solutions to your friend at dinner, don't say it in your content. Secondly, document the process. We talked about planning brand photo shoots. Don't just show the final photo, show the messy rack of clothes. Show the coffee you drank on set. Show the chaos. The final photo is the product. The process is the story. Third, create recurring bits, inside jokes that are a glue of the friendship. If you always drink the same weird green smoothie, keep showing it. If you hate a specific font, keep making fun of it. These little details seem insignificant, but they are the texture of a real relationship. They give your audience something to know about you that the general public doesn't. Here's the bottom line. The barrier to entry for business has never been lower. Anyone can start a store. Anyone can use AI to write a blog post. The world is drowning in average content. You cannot compete on professionalism anymore. There is always someone with a bigger budget who can look more professional than you. But you can compete on humanity. You can compete on connection. Your goal is not to convince 1 million people to buy your product. Your goal is to get a specific group of people to feel like they know you. Because once they know you, and once they trust you, the sale is easy. In fact, the sale becomes inevitable. Marketing is no longer about B2B or B2C. It is H to H, human to human. If you're hiding behind a logo because you're afraid of being seen, you're leaving money on the table. But more importantly, you are failing to make an impact. So here's my challenge for you today. I want you to look at your last 5 posts, if you even have any. Do they look like they came from a human, or do they look like they came from a department? If they look like a department, it's time to break the facade. The one best piece of advice that I can give you, and basically just to sum up this entire video, is just make something real. Make something that's you. If you've seen Gary Vee across social media, he is him. He cusses a lot. He just wears clothing like these, just t-shirts and shorts. And he's just not professional at all, but he owns a very successful business and a very successful marketing business specifically. So if you don't trust me, trust him. All right. But that's going to be it for this video, and just go make something real.